Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we'll be looking at the 112 Collective Classic Superman figure from Mezco. And here's a quick look at the box that he comes with. It's the same as all the other Mezco boxes pretty much. You got the Superman logo in the middle, 112 Collective at the top, Superman at the top. Then on the side of the box you got a nice little Superman logo. And then when you open up the front of the box you get a look at the figure with all of his accessories. It's kind of hard to see because of the glare. And then on the opposite side of that you get some cool little Superman artwork. And then on the back you get a look at the figure itself, and it's pretty much all the promotional pictures that we've seen 100 times before. So as usual with the Mezco stuff, it's a nice looking packaging, but for me it's just too big and bulky and it's a hassle to store. I kind of wish they'd went with the exclusive style packaging for their figures going forward, but it's all good, it looks nice. So let's look at the figure here. For the articulation, his head is able to go side to side. Then you're able to get it to tilt a pretty good amount. He has two joints here on the neck, one at the head and then one at the lower neck. So using those two together, his head has a lot of movement. So it's pretty cool. Then you're able to get it to tilt back a pretty nice amount for some nice flight poses. And then you're able to get him to look forward about that much. Then for his torso, he does have the two joints in the torso. One here at the mid-torso, then one at the waist. But it doesn't really get too much movement as you can see here. Let's try to get him to crunch. That's pretty much as far as I could get him to go, and he kind of wants to pop back up, but that's about it right there. As you can see there, it's not very much, and I kind of feel the waist swivel on mine is a little stuck, and I'm kind of scared to force it, but yeah, using both the joints there as much as I can, that's as far as it goes. And then you could kind of get him to go back a pretty good amount, a decent amount. Yeah, not very much actually, but it's not a big deal. As you can see, it only goes back about that much. And then you also have a little bit of tilt on his torso here. Get it to tilt side to side, as you can see there. It's not very much, but it's a little bit. And then he could twist. And yeah, I think the waist is stuck on mine or something, or it just doesn't move that much. But yeah, anyways, so torso could be a little bit better, but I'm okay with it. And then for his arms, you're able to get them to come out to the side. And then you've got like the butterfly style joint here at the shoulder. And then you're able to get his arm to pretty much come all the way up. So I'm very happy about that. Just kind of got to work with it, but you can get it to go all the way up. The clothes doesn't get in the way of flight poses, so that's awesome. And then you have the upper bicep swivel. You've got double jointed elbows. You have a swivel at the wrist and a hinge at the wrist. One thing about moving his arm around, I kind of feel like I stretched the cloth a little bit. You can see on his armpit there, it's kind of bunching up. That kind of sucks, but I don't know. I guess that just kind of comes with it. And let's check out his legs here. He's able to come out to the side a pretty good amount. They go forward an okay amount, but his shorts or whatever they're called kind of hinder it. And then you're able to go back about that much. And then you have the upper thigh swivel. It's really tight, but it's there. Then you've got double jointed knees. And it looks, if you force it, you could kind of swivel here at the boot, but don't think it's meant to. And then for his feet, they could kind of move side to side. They could tilt forward. And then you could get it to tilt up about that much. And then his ankles do have a little bit of side to side rocking action, but not too much. Mezco definitely needs to improve in that area, especially before the classic Spider-Man comes out. Because this kind of ankle joint is unacceptable for Spider-Man. I don't mind it here for Superman. It's alright because he could stand up and all that good stuff. So yeah, the articulation is pretty much, you know, standard for a Mezco figure, so it's pretty good. And for his accessories, he comes with a bunch of pairs of hands. And here's the first pair. It's a set of fists. Then he has a set of like flight hands. And then he has a set of open, gripping, dramatic hands. And he comes with two different head sculpts. Here's the first one. It's just a regular Superman head, and I think it looks really nice. And then you've got this laser effect head that I'm not really a big fan of. Then he comes with this little cool piece of kryptonite. And this thing's really nice actually. You can see that the actual crystals are like nice. It's like a nice translucent green color, and even the rock has some nice little shading on it, so that's very cool. And then he has the bottled city of Kandor, which looks really cool too. I kind of feel like the buildings inside of there could have had a little bit more detail, but it's okay. It looks really cool. It's in this like plastic little bubble thing here. And then he has these pretty cool chain things. I think they look pretty good and they're a pretty good idea, but they're kind of a hassle to put on, and we'll take a look at that in just a second here. But yeah, they're pretty cool. But check this out. You got to put it on his flight stand piece in order to put them on him. So I don't know. It's kind of a hassle, but yeah, let's check these out real quick. These chains do look really nice. They don't look like old school crazy chains. They kind of look like something more durable. But yeah, they have like a metal wire inside of them, so they're, you know, you could pose them and things like that. Doesn't feel like that they're gonna break or anything over time. And yeah, they're pretty cool. It's a cool little thing. But yeah, I had to stick it into this thing, and it was a hassle. I really thought that I was gonna break the clips trying to get it in there, so be very careful. I didn't really want to take these out, but let's see here. Yeah, you can see they're in there, and it took me a minute to figure it out, but check it out. These things kind of just come out from right here. And you could see it's kind of hard to see because the white background, but yeah, look, you got to kind of put these right in here, and that went a lot easier than it did the first time me trying to get it in there. But I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. It seems kind of crazy to do it that way. I thought, you know, I would think that they could come up with something a little less complicated or easier anyways. And then you just kind of stick this in here, and then you have to stick this whole thing onto his back. I don't know, it seems kind of crazy, but it's cool. It's a nice little effect. Then he also comes with these really cool bullet ricochet effects, and these things just magnetize right onto the S here. And these things are awesome. This is one of my favorite like effects that I've seen come with the figure, up there with the Punisher muzzle flare. But yeah, check that out. That's awesome. Look at that. That's really cool. Only thing that kind of sucks is that it's confined just to the S, but you know, that's a small complaint. It's a very cool effect. And these things are just small little pieces of plastic with the metal magnet on there. You could see right there, and they're very soft. You don't have to worry about them breaking. They don't feel brittle at all. So yeah, that's very cool. And then here's the stand. It looks very nice. You got the Superman logo in the center, and then you have the peg here at on the side. And then you could use the arm to pop the peg out, and then you stick the arm into the hole there, and then you've got the articulated flight stand. And as always, this is a pretty cool stand. And here's how Superman looks standing up on the peg on the stand, and I think that looks awesome. And then this also looks awesome. This is him with the flight stand, so very cool both ways. And then it comes with this crazy Mezco cape posing contraption, and I'm really not a big fan of this thing. As you can see here, you just take the arms and you stick it into the plate right here, and then you're able to pose the cape. And then you also have to stick the cape into these little clips. But yeah, every time I mess with one of these things, I feel like I'm going to rip the cape on the figure. And it's just crazy to put together. It's such a hassle. I really wish they'd get rid of this. I really thought by this time that they'd get rid of it. And for some size comparisons, here he is next to Mezco Green Arrow and Mezco Flash. And you can see he's about the same height as them, which is no good. I think that he should be taller than both of these characters. And then here he is next to Mezco Shazam and Mezco Dark Knight Returns Batman. And as you can see, Batman looks like a giant next to him. But you know what? I'm not as mad at that because, you know, it's not like this is the Dark Knight Returns version of Superman. If it was, I think that he'd be like bigger because that, you know, that book has a like certain style, and that's why Batman kind of looks bigger and, you know, crazier looking in there. I think if this was supposed to be the Dark Knight version of Superman, that he would have been a lot bigger, but there's no excuse for why he's this short compared to Shazam. I think that he should be at least the same size as Shazam. I'm not really sure why they didn't use the same body. It would have worked, but anyways, here he is next to Black Series Boba Fett and Figure Arts Raphael. And then here he is alongside the Ultimate Marvel Legends Spider-Man and the Pizza Marvel Legends Spider-Man. And then here he is next to a couple of my favorite Superman figures, and this is the NECA Superman from the Muhammad Ali 2-pack, and then DC Icon Superman. Now let's take a closer look at this guy and check him out here. I think he looks really good. He doesn't look perfect. There are definitely a couple of flaws, but I think he looks good. I'm not really a big fan of the trunks here. I kind of wish they just went with the cloth trunks that sat over the uniform there. And I think that would have been a lot better. I'm really not a big fan of these rubbery trunks. Then you got the boots down here. The boots look pretty nice. And I really love this cape. I like the way it feels, and it looks really good. And then you got the nice looking Superman logo on the back here. And one thing about the emblem looks pretty nice, but I do wish it was less puffy. But I guess it kind of had to look like that so they could fit those magnets in there. Maybe that's why it kind of looks bigger than it should. But it looks decent. It just could have looked a little bit better. And the neckline on mine looks pretty good. I was a little bit worried on some early pictures I saw because it looked like the neck was really low, and I wasn't feeling that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way mine looks. In a lot of the pictures I saw, I felt like it looked like like the uniform was too padded or something like that. It looked like a guy wearing a muscle suit, but in hand it doesn't look or feel like that. So I'm very happy with it. And for the head sculpt, I'm very happy with it. I think they did a really good job. Check this out there. I think it captures Superman perfectly. The only thing is it does have that sandy, freckly look to it, but I really didn't notice it until I had it under my lights here. When I was just messing with it in regular light, I didn't even notice it. But yeah, look at his head looks great. You got the little lock of hair hanging down there on his forehead. And yeah, I think it captures Superman perfectly. So I'm very, very happy about the head sculpt. Then you've got the laser effect head sculpt. And I'm not really a big fan of this. I think it looks kind of bad. And the glow in the dark effect is, I guess it's cool, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of weak. I couldn't really even pick it up on my camera here, but I mean, it's cool. I guess it's a cool idea. It just doesn't really come across that good on the figure here. In case anyone was curious, the Shazam heads do fit on Superman. Just in case you dislike the Superman head sculpts, you know, you could use the Shazam head maybe, and it kind of works out. And yeah, they look kind of cool. But overall, I'm very, very happy with this figure. I think that they did a really good job. And, you know, when I first saw the early pictures, when people started to have it in hand, I was really disappointed. I thought he looked really bad. For some reason, you know, on the pictures that I saw, his neckline was really low and his upper chest was like exposed a lot. And then he looked really puffy and like patty. It looked like a guy wearing a muscle suit, like I mentioned before. But yeah, in hand, none of that. I didn't have any of those problems. I was really, really happy with it. He's definitely cool. There are a few flaws, like I do wish that they used the trunks that I mentioned before, where it's just like the sewn trunks on top of what he has there. And I do wish that the belt was a little bit different and that it looked more classic. But yeah, overall, he's a really good figure. And, you know, it's always cool when you think that something's going to kind of suck and you're like on the fence about it and you pick it up anyways and then you're pleasantly surprised. Yeah, that was the case with this figure. So I'm very, very happy with it. And in my opinion, if you're a big Superman fan, I really think this figure is worth picking up. I really think that it's the best 6-inch Superman figure out there. I guess that's not saying much. It's not like there's a bunch running around. I'm not really a big fan of the DC Universe stuff, and, you know, DC Collectibles has some cool stuff here and there, but I definitely think that this is the best version, a 6-inch version of Superman. And also, I definitely think it's worth picking up if you're a hardcore Mezco person. But if you're not really like into Mezco stuff, I really don't think that this is going to be the figure that's going to convince you or change your mind. Unless you're a big Superman fan, then it just might. But yeah, overall, very happy with this figure, very happy to have it. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And peace.